there's a space where you get too comfortable, but you don't want your life to be like uncomfortable all the time, right? So how do you guys balance that? What do you guys try to do, or if anything?
How do I deal with comfort?
Like what do you like? Yeah, how do you deal with it? For example, here I'll give you how I deal, or I'll try to kind of like get uncomfortable in a way, because I feel like it's important to get uncomfortable, because that's gives you opportunity for growth.
Definitely. Definitely.
And what I do and I've done like in the past is I've tried to like do like 1 month challenges, kind of like what you said earlier, like
Exactly.
1 month challenges. What's up, y'all? This is another episode of Deep Thoughts. This time we brought back the Yungavelle for another episode. The Yungavelle is a recording artist, a YouTuber, and he has his own clothing line. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us a rating or a review. And shout out to Lucas Warren for dropping a review on Apple Podcasts. Enjoy the show.
Got some good
Boom,
information.
boom, boom, boom. 3 cameras this time.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to start off with, how the hell did you get a snake, bro? Because I was doing some research. I was looking up like your videos and stuff on YouTube, and I just seen you playing with a snake, and I'm like, how?
So I got Cora. Cora's a Brazilian rainbow boa, and she'll be about 5 to 6 feet. She's like maybe 3 feet now, 25 year lifespan, God willing. I got dispatched to a turtle call. You know, I work for FWC, Fish and Wildlife. So I got dispatched to people that were illegally selling turtles on the side of the road. So I pulled up, basically, long story short, confiscated the turtles from this little family, because you got to have a certain permit.
Yeah.
And I went to the reptile spot to give them back. I had to give them to a reptile store. And I just was shopping around. I was just looking around after I dropped them off, and I seen Brazilian rainbow boa. And I was like, oh, that sounds unique. Mm-hmm. So I was like, do you have any babies? The guy was like, yeah, I do. I was like, do you have any girls? And he was like, yep. And I was like, I might be back tomorrow. I did my research that whole night of how to set up, take care of a Brazilian rainbow boa. And I was there the next day, and I brought Cora back home. And then 2 days ago, I was doing research on emerald tree boas, because they look so beautiful, and I like their color scheme. So I wanted to find one. I called people, and they were like, yeah, we just got a new batch. I was like, I'm in there. That's final. So I went 2 days ago and picked up Lakshmi, and she's about the same age as Cora, so she's around 1 year old. And I set up the enclosure. I didn't like how I set it up the first time. Yeah. And then yesterday I got some new stuff, and now I finally set it up, and she seems to be settling in nicely. Supposedly they're nippy, but I don't, emerald tree boas have the largest fangs of any non-venomous snake, so people are afraid to handle them like that. Yeah. So, but Lakshmi seems to be, I got good energy, so I know how to handle her. I don't be like bothering her like that, so she just chills on my hand when I have handled her the 2 times that I have.
Damn.
Okay, yeah.
You just got 2 snakes in your, but they stay like in like a little thing, right?
A little terrarium.
Terrarium.
Yeah, it's called a terrarium.
Terrarium.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So how you guys doing, man? What's up? It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Probably in fear right now.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Of snakes?
Yeah, you.
Like I said.
He's not going to your place.
I remember, man. I saw him. You walked in, twisted roots with Cora.
Yeah.
In your hand. And I said, is that a... Yes. That's a snake. All right. I'll be over here.
Cora's the sweetest thing, man. She wouldn't harm. She hasn't struck at me or anything, man. She's...
Yeah. And you know what? It's not even a
fear.
You
can kiss her on her face and she won't do anything.
It's not that. Like, it's not...
They'll lick you or kiss you?
They'll smell you.
With the tongue, yeah. It's not like, oh, this snakes are, they're gonna attack me or harm me. It's a personal fear that I have to deal with. I have to overcome that.
I could bring her over and you could face that fear.
I mean, yeah, that's,
You know what?
That's
I'm
that's how
with
you really
it.
face it.
I'm with it.
She's in the
You
car
say
right
that
now.
until I bring her out.
No, I'll be like, yo, let's do it.
How often do they eat? What do you feed a snake?
So she's young. They're both young, so they'll eat once a week. Friday is feeding day.
Oh wow,
Yeah, once a week.
that's low maintenance.
Yeah, they're reptiles.
Yeah,
Remember, they're
female
reptiles. They're cold blooded, so they don't have fast metabolism like warm blooded animals.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Duh. No. I'm just joking. Yeah, that's one of the perks of being cold blooded. You can have one large meal and you can be good for like 2 weeks.
I haven't studied reptiles yet, so
Okay.
I'm lacking on that.
Yeah. Reptiles are amazing, man. They're one of my favorite class of animal.
I had a turtle once.
I didn't.
That's cool.
I caught a turtle once, and then my grandma took care of it for like a month. And they threw it back in the water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was back when I was young too. So when I had my turtle, or I found it, I don't know, it just came, and I took it. I was like, oh my god, you're so cool. And back when I was a kid, dude, I wasn't afraid of anything. Like the child in me was just happy to be around and it could have been anything, like a snake, anything.
Yeah.
I would loved it. So I had the turtle, and I was going somewhere with my mom. Like she said, hey, let's take a trip. I said, okay, cool. I'll take the turtle. I don't want to I don't want to come back and have it missing or anything. So I'll just put you in a little bucket. I'll put a couple like lettuces in there for you, eat. I'll be right back. Come back, turtle's gone, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Turtle's gone. I feel like somebody took it. I don't know who it was, but somebody took. But I don't want to look. I had some hating family members at the time, man. Somebody just took my turtle, bro. I think it was my uncle.
I feel like everybody at some point had a turtle when they grew up, because I remember turtles being around in my like cousin's house and stuff. Little baby red-eared or yellow-eared sliders, yellow belly sliders. Yeah, reptiles are cool, man.
Yo.
Eventually, you gotta upgrade to snakes, though.
Yeah.
And then if you're really crazy, go to alligators.
Do you know? Do you have any idea like the origin of the fear?
Wait, of snakes?
Yeah. Do you know?
It could be family. It could be because my mom, she hates snakes, and I don't know about my dad. I don't know how he feels about it, but my mom, I know for a fact she hates him. So one day there was a snake. Like back when I was young, there was a snake wrapping itself around the tree. And I ran inside because I was afraid of it. I didn't even know why. Like this fear, I feel like it was hereditary. Like I just got it, So I ran inside. I was like, yo, mom, there's a snake. Yo, she freaked out. And I guess it just, subconsciously.
I guess.
She packed the bags and moved out.
Yeah.
Probably chop that snake's head off or something.
Yeah, that was the end of it. I'm sorry. That's what happened.
Poor snake, man. He's just trying to live, just trying to get up the tree, look for some food. Next thing you know, he's dead. Humans, humans.
Human, yeah.
We're generally scared of reptiles, I think, right?
We're scared of a lot of stuff that we're like hundreds of times bigger than.
Not like a big cat though.
No, big cat. That's like bigger than us.
Yeah,
I'm saying like hundreds of times bigger than like a bug or a snake
okay.
or a mouse.
But a snake can grow up to 6 feet. You said.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the one that you killed was nowhere near.
I didn't kill it. No, don't put that on me, man. I never,
snake
bro.
murder.
now I'm getting judged and shit.
This poor animal's just trying to live, man. Just trying to exist. And humans, man, just gotta be like, nah, you can't be here. Like what? Why?
Yeah, you're right.
Just trying to be.
You're right about that, man.
That's true.
That cause comes with the territory being the apex species of the planet. We just kill shit. Whenever we don't like it, I'm just gonna kill you.
I mean, even humans too, right? We kill each other.
Yeah. Yep. The only species that has war, humans.
Yeah.
Can you pass me that? So I can get more loose. I'm starting to get loose. There you go. Cratter, man. This is the healthy alternative.
Closer to you.
this is the healthy alternative to, this is what the spiritual people drink, man.
I mean, yeah, it's a tea.
Yeah, it's a nice tea.
All right, so the last time we had you on, we didn't really get to talk about semen retention that much because we only talked about it towards the end. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you, like, how did you get into that journey? Because for people who don't know, like, the Yungavelle, he has like a whole YouTube channel where he goes and he talks about his journey with semen retention, and he also uploads his music and other things about his life.
Yeah. It's all about self-development and positive manifestation, masculine energy, a little bit of red pill stuff, and semen retention just falls right into that. So I've been on the retention journey for probably like on and off since 2017. Then I got into the academy in 2018, and I was kind of forced to, that discipline came, but I was still, a little bit fapping. I'm not even gonna hold you, but not as much as I used to when I was younger. But 2019 to now is when I was earnestly on the path. Mm-hmm. So 2019, I'll say, so probably like not even long, like 2 years. And in 2 years, in 2019, I hit my first 90-day streak. So I went 90 days, and I was like, damn, I feel totally different. Like my voice got deeper. I started having ideas. I created my YouTube channel because I started having that creative force flowing
during
through
those
me.
90 days?
Yeah, after the 90 days. That's why my first video, I think my second video was my 90-day video. My first video was just me talking about something about a woman or something like that. Like, don't worry about finding a woman. The right woman will come when you're ready. Something like that. And it was in my car. And then somebody commented like, this is a cool video. You should do more of these. And then I was like, let me just talk about my 90-day video, my 90-day experience. And up to date, that's been my most viewed video, like 30,000 views. So I'm like, damn, people really are interested in this subject. And since then, I've been working it into my lifestyle. Because being sexually active, you got to kind of figure out how you're going to still get the benefits of semen retention. But let's be honest, you're going to have sex most likely. Especially with a girl that if you really like her, she's attractive, and you see her consistently, you got to figure out, how am I going to still maintain the lifestyle that's beneficial for me, meaning retention, and still enjoy myself. Yeah. Because, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, how does it work in a relationship, Because.
Well, yeah. I just passed, I'll give you an example. No Nut November just passed. And I was still sexually active in No Nut November, but I was just retaining my seed. So you get to a point where you can have sex, but you just don't release. Yeah. So you can bust those sweet watery guts down, but you don't gotta release.
Damn.
But I started doing that maybe last year or the year before. I think it was last year I started doing that, where I was being sexually active, and I was like, you know what? I'm 8 days in. Let me just hit the 2-week mark, but I'll have sex on like day 9 or day 10. And I'll be like, damn, I'm really close to my goal. I don't want to release. So I would just stop. And it's another thing while you're doing it, not to get really technical, but while you're doing it, you got to kind of step away from the animalistic side of your brain. Like when you're like, and you're starting to get to that place where your body just wants to procreate, release, you got to slow it down, and you got to stay away from that side. So you got to really be in tune with your breath, be in tune with the woman. I look at her. I like to just see how she's enjoying herself, and that kind of puts me in the moment and just relaxes me. And the next thing you know, she's done, and I'm chilling. And I'm like, all right.
My job here is done. Just pack your bag.
Yeah, it's cool though, because then you can go again and then again and then again, and then the girls, they're always like, man, how this is amazing and all that kind of stuff. It is a challenge though. The more that you have sex within that session, the closer you get to releasing. So you kind of got to be mindful of not having 5 rounds in one, short
this man
time
doing
frame.
sex push-ups, bro.
Yeah. It's just the seed is worth it, man. The seed is way worth, is more, to me, it's more worth that temporary release. like the benefits that come. Because, dude, you stand out in a room without even saying a word. Mm-hmm. Have you guys practiced retention at all?
Yeah, I have. I've gone 90 days as well. So I know
you
exactly.
Tell me you went some like insane amount, like
no, it was
20 years, 23 years,
26 years.
I'm holding it down to this day.
I got the record.
See, he's a virgin. That's why.
No, but 90 days, man. I hit 90 days during November, I believe. No. Right after November, so like December 1st. Yeah.
Nice, man.
I completed my 90 days, man. And I definitely agree with you. Like you feel a surge of energy. Like you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I had the idea to come up with Flamo Sound, which was a music platform for underground artists. That came to me during that time. I started working on more music. My voice definitely changed. I'm sure you guys can hear it now. Because before I was like, hey guys, how's it going? My voice changed.
Hey, what's up?
It changed, man. It's
that
real.
testosterone.
Yes.
You know what's interesting about testosterone? People call it the success hormone. The success hormone, because testosterone has an interesting thing to it, right? What it does is, one of the things that it does is, when you have a challenge or something like that in front of you, or some sort of competition, or just a challenge, you'll get a boost of testosterone. And if you end up with a favorable result in that challenge, your testosterone has the ability to upregulate itself to be like, your levels go up higher, where it goes into your personality profile. So you'll have a more dominant personality more over time.
Oh, wow.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So your baseline will be a more dominant person the more that you succeed in those challenges. And that puts you in situations where, you'll take more risks, you're more confident, you're stronger, and it's just they call it the success hormone. Put yourself in those situations.
From what I've researched, it's released when you succeed. When you succeed, your body releases testosterone, which raises the levels, which is interesting. I don't know specifically why, but yeah, when you succeed in something, like in anything in particular, you release testosterone.
It has the properties of like putting you ahead in social dynamics. It's like a biological thing that puts the best parts of you forward, so you can stand out in social circles, decision making. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like lead. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so interesting because there's so many benefits, but yet people don't tap into that stuff. We live in a society where men are, and I say this a lot, I say everyone's all hot and bothered about women are this and that, this is, and now everybody knows about the red pill and female nature and stuff like that, and how feminism has overcorrected type of stuff. So the real problem, though, is that it's a lack of masculine energy, a lack of good, positive, like, I don't want to say positive masculinity because that's a little cliche. I'm talking about like the right kind of masculine energy, where you know how to funnel it, you lead, and you're leading people to a place worthy of being led to, like being your best self. That's what society is lacking, because we got porn addictions, we got alcohol, all these type of vices, social media that people fall under, and they just never take the chance to overcome that urge long enough to reap the benefits of becoming a strong man.
Yeah. So then, I know this is a rabbit hole, but what does a world where, everyone's just, how do you say, like in a more leadership role where everyone's going down that right path, which is subjective, right? Mm-hmm. But what does that look like? What does that world look like?
I think everybody has something to bring to the table.
Okay.
Like everybody's different. Everybody has something that, or can do something a little bit better than the next person. Mm-hmm. So the question is, are you going to tap that about yourself? Are you going to dive? Because we're talking about potential.
Yeah.
Potential is the thing that separates, that will bring you to that society. Everybody's doing their thing. It's basically people have to live up to their potential. And people have to get away from all the stuff that takes away from that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. But I also believe that there is a society like that. You know, there's the people who are tapping into their potential, and you know they're exceeding in their potential, and then there's the people who aren't. You're always gonna have two sides of everything. You're gonna have your light. You're gonna have your dark.
Right.
If there's a world filled with light, how would you even know, you know? Because everything around you is light. Right. Same thing for dark, the opposite. So you got to know what's bad for you to know what's good. Subjectively, of course. It all depends on you, on the person. If you didn't go through those years of, you know, fapping and the low energy, you wouldn't be who you are today. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be in that leadership position, that confident, like masculine bodied man that you are today if you didn't have those dark times. Mm-hmm. It's just, we all have to, you know, it has to click for us individually. Mm-hmm. Every single one of us. And then we can make that switch or that change. But some of us never get that. You know, we never get that realization. We don't have those figures in our life to say, okay, you know what? Like, hey, yo, actually stop for a second and look at you. Do you like where you are? Do you like what, you know, what you're around? Do you? But I'm sorry, go.
No, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that in order for a society for people within that society to reach that potential, do you think there has to be a certain amount of the population at the bottom for people to be like, I want to stand out?
Yeah.
That means that there might have to be some sort of, always there's going to be people that pool at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that's a necessity, or will that ever go away type of thing?
That's not going away, because honestly, and this is just my view, the world is perfect. And here's what I mean by that. Perfect, yes. The
Perfectly
world,
shitty.
The world is perfect, man. It's
some people clenching their fists right now.
It's good. I got a couple of authors.
I'll show you perfect.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is, all throughout like existence, there's always been, you know, your thriving societies and then your not so. But I remember growing up, dude. I was growing up in what we would call the hood, right? Mm-hmm. I was growing up in low income, not dirt, like, and I don't mean to like hurt, you know, but just poverty.
Like, it was hard.
It was hard. It was hard is what I would say. Yeah, it was hard. But not for me. Life was great. Everything around me was great. Like, that's going back to, I wasn't afraid of anything. You know, I was outside playing in the dirt. We had a hoop in the back. I was playing ball. I had friends coming over every week. Right. Sure, the outside looking in, bro, you're in a rough spot. Yeah, you're in a rough. But not for me. Not for my people. Like not for, you know, my family. Like, we came from, or my parents are Haitian. Like, we came from the Caribbean. It was rough over there. So for them to make that change, that transition from where they were to the U.S., dude, it was a life change for them. So to them, they thought, yo, I'm good now. I got out of my dark spot. My dark, you know, I got out of that. Now I'm in the light. It's all subjective, dude.
Yeah, perspective. That is a great point.
The world is perfect. I kid you not. it's just how, yes, like you said, it's
perspective.
perspective. It's how I may see you and say, oh, nah, dude, you're going through a lot. But in your head, yo, life is amazing. I just got a job that's paying me $15 an hour, man. My old job was paying me $8.
Right. It's funny.
So-
I was watching hood vlogs the other day, and sometimes I watch it just to, because I come from that area as well, like that type of lifestyle. But I was never in it. I had a great time and all that kind of stuff. I lived well, and I listen to how they talk and stuff, and like, yeah, it was rough here. People get shot every day. That kind of energy.
Yeah.
They're grown up obviously now, and they are talking about the projects that they used to live in, or some live in to this day. And one of the girls was like, yeah, but when I was growing up though, I had fun. I had friends on the fourth floor, on the seventh floor of the project building, and my friends were always out in the front. We went to the park, we played manhunt in the building, and I'm like, yeah, like I did the same things.
Yeah.
I did the same things in my area, my neighborhood. So it's like, it goes back to perspective, not only perspective, but I think, and I don't know if this is the same thing, frame of reference. If you're a kid and you don't have any frame of reference in terms of poverty or
that's what I was gonna say,
poor stuff, you're going to be like, yo, this is fine.
Yeah.
But your parents they're the ones that might be aware of, man, I need to get us out of this situation because they have a different frame of reference because they're adults.
Yeah.
So they're thinking about economy and jobs and stuff like that. You don't have the frame of reference of what it's like to work. So it's like being privileged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know. You have something to add?
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, like, cause you don't know what you're missing out on. Basically, is the sense like
Yeah.
you don't, cause like now, like, cause the internet, social media, like like how other people are living and what they have and what you don't have, and that comparison and knowing that you could have more or don't have certain things, that can lead to like feelings of oh, this isn't fun because I'd rather have that,
Yeah.
Too many other frame of references available now that we have social media. It like makes our own frame of reference seem insignificant. Like I'm doing so I did, and I don't say this to brag or anything like that. This is just because I like to challenge myself. No Nut November I did it for 30 days, whatever. And I wanted to do it. I had never done it in my retention journey. I was, I had failed the previous 2 years, either being with a woman or fapping. I don't remember. But I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Boom, I did it. And then December 1st came, and I was like, man, let me still challenge myself. What can I do? I still want to bust sweet watery guts. But November is over, so I don't gotta hold myself down, like hold myself back anymore. But I still wanted to challenge myself, so I'm doing social media detox. So I've been on social media since December, and I'm gonna do that till the end of the year. And man, boy, do I tell you, I feel like I'm not missing out on anything. Man, I feel.
I'm like at 2.5 months right now. Actually, I think I'm at
Nice.
3.
Dude,
Nice.
I took one too. I did it for.
How good is it? Like, how good is you chilling? It becomes your life again. Your life is your life again.
Yeah, you're not influenced. You're not checking up, and it cuts down on the distractions. Like, because I feel like that was a major thing. Like, if you're bored somewhere, you just I'll just go on the phone and
Right.
scroll.
Look at somebody else's life.
Yo, it's okay. It goes back to what you said about frame of reference, man. So when you're on social media, especially if you're looking at other people's lives, you're constantly changing that. It goes from, all right, this is me, this is where I'm at today, and then somebody shows you this life, somebody else shows you that. You're seeing all of these different types of lives, and subconsciously you don't know it, but you're comparing a little bit.
A lot of it.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Subconsciously, you're comparing. Once you take that out of the equation, dude, it goes back to you. Like, you put importance back into your life. And then you can really work on changing, on like advancing or doing whatever it is that you know what I'm saying? Like that you set out to do in your life. And you'll take those big ass steps that you wouldn't be taking if you were still comparing. Because what comparing does is, instead of making you take a step forward, you take a step back. And I hate that. I hate that. And I know that's a hard word to use.
No, that's
but
a great
it's,
point.
yo,
It's a great point.
I hate it.
Why do you think comparing makes you take a step back?
Okay, so
Maybe because it holds you back from working on yourself? Or is it something like more of a definitive step back?
it's okay, when you're doing that, and this is how I personally feel, when you're comparing, you have less time working on, changing you, or, taking those leaps, those steps forward, and more time comparing yourself to someone else, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Now you're distracted by like someone else's life or something that you want, instead of working towards accomplishing and achieving something.
So it's more like a stalemate. Like
Yes.
you're being stagnant.
Yeah.
You're not doing a goddamn thing.
100%.
But just looking at you. And if you're not
100%.
moving forward, you're moving backwards.
You're
right?
moving back. And yo, when you learn that about life, bro, when you learn that about life, because nothing is a standstill. Nothing remains still.
Right.
It's always moving.
Right.
So if you're not moving forward, you're moving back, bro.
Now check this. This is interesting because we're talking about time and forward progression and how that's a constant, right? The interesting thing about time, and maybe I'll even say growth, but it's hard to say that with humans because we're subjective. We're not like a plant, Growth, time moves forward in cycles. It's cyclical. So is our growth cyclical? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like these things, right? They say certain patterns come around in cycles. Like you won't break. The same thing will come around in different forms until you break out of that.
Yeah.
Like if you date a girl and you don't learn your lesson, and you take advantage. Because I've been there. I've been in relationships with a certain type of girl just because I'm very attracted to her and she's attracted to me, but she's not good for me. Whatever, it's good for a little bit, then it's horrible. Happens right again. You know what I'm saying? Like the same cycle comes up again. Do I learn my lesson? Nope.
Yeah.
Same thing. And I'm not able to advance until I pass that cycle, until I learn that cycle. And then once I make a conscious choice, once I say, you know what? Nah, like from jump. Yeah, like, nah, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Doesn't necessarily have to be a girl, but once I meet that challenge and I can identify this is the same type of energy that I was dealing with before, let me do something different. When I do that, things start to move forward.
Here's what I'll add to that. So there's two worlds, and I always talk about this. There's your inner, and then your inner basically reflects everything outside. And this is how I feel. Once again, I'm not pushing anything on anybody. So when something becomes conscious, right? Like once you're aware of a situation or a lesson, you got it. You beat it. It's when you're not aware, it repeats. Just like you said, it repeats. The lesson keeps coming back and back and back and forth. It'll always come up. Until something just clicks with you. And check this. It only clicks when the image is formed in your mental, in your mind. Here's what I mean by this. And I had this conversation yesterday with someone. She actually explained it to me in her own words. She was talking about religion. And she explained it to me. And I said, yo, this is what it means to understand life using, how do you say it? Because everybody has their own ways of explaining something, right? You can explain how life works through spirituality. Somebody else can do it through religion. Somebody else can do it through science, but it's all the same. So she says, listen, you can speak to me all day, but those words mean nothing. They carry nothing. It's not until you explain it in a way where I can conceive the image. The image, because your mind thinks like that. You have two sides of it. You have the logical, and then you have the, once you get the image, you get it subconsciously. You get it subconsciously, it's a wrap. Like it's like a download. It goes into your soul. Mm-hmm. So you learn the lesson, and you break that chain of like, the repetition. You break the cycle, but you can only learn it through image.
Now that's interesting you say that, because I will rebuttal that by saying you can become aware of the image, but I feel like it's only truly learned in choice.
Okay.
In action.
Okay.
So if that same thing comes up, now you have the image of like, oh snap, I'm in the same situation again. You've understood it. That image is formed in your mind. Now comes the choice, because you could become aware of it and be like, fuck it, I'm still gonna fuck this girl, or like I'm still gonna go. So I think the lesson comes with choice. I think choice is what's gonna take you to the next step, because it's like you proving yourself that you're worthy of handling more. Yeah. When you make the right choice in face of something that's hard for you, something that's difficult for you, a lesson that you needed to learn. When you make the proper choice, it's like Thor when he gets his hammer back. He's like, I'm still worthy. When you make that choice, you're saying to yourself, to life, like, I'm worthy of more. I'm worthy of more than this situation that's been presenting itself to me, because I'm choosing something different. I'm choosing, because it's those choices that come, those lessons that come up over and over are hard for us to break through. That's why they keep coming up. That's why they cycle over and we keep falling back in. But once we make that choice to pass through it, because remember, the addict is fully aware that he has a problem, but he's still gonna become an addict. Still gonna use. You know what I'm saying? Like he still has that tendency. But once he makes that choice, now the doors open up for him to step into a real new reality.
Okay. All right. I'll take both of those and I'll merge them.
Yeah, gel
and I'll gel them together. And the reason why I say that is because we met nice girl, and she had, she was dealing with some things. She said she's now staying in a halfway house, and it's hard. It's very hard to to live this new life, to stay on the path that she's on, because everyone in the house is doing, like they're doing their addiction, like they're stuck in that. And her trying to make a difference it's challenging for her, because she's surrounded by people who are, constantly going back into that ditch. So, but what she did, and this is why I even brought up image in the first place. What she did was, because we had a mini podcast with her too. She was in a room. She was talking to us. And what she said was, yo, I see it. Like, she's aware of it, right? I truly believe when you're not, you could be deep in that darkness. When you're not aware of it, bro, like it engulfs you, like it eats you up. But the second it's brought to your consciousness, yo, you see yourself now. You see your surroundings. You see what you're around, like what surrounds you. And then you're able to make that choice. You can then make the choice to, whether or not, if you want to do it, or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But until you see it, yo, it's
the gateway is
there's
closed.
There's nothing you can do. And we've all been there. I've been there. Yo, you could think something is great for you. Personally, you think it's amazing. But that's because you don't see the harm or whatever, it's doing, whatever it's causing you to, basically to go back. You don't see it. And until you do, you can't make that step forward.
It's crazy. It's crazy when you make that different choice, how things kind of show you like, yes, they open up for you. It's like the floodgates open once you slay the dragon. Once you slay the dragon, you get the princess type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Like you get that breadcrumb from the universe, from God or whatever that shit that says, yo, carry on. Like, yo, that was tough. Like, that was dope. Keep it up.
Yo,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
Listen. I want to talk about something deep.
Deep thoughts, baby.
Deep. All right. So I've got a question for the both of you. Be honest.
Hit us with it.
Have you ever been depressed?
Yeah.
Man, I hit the buzzer. My bad.
Man.
Go No, I was gonna say yeah.
Yeah.
Multiple times. Yeah, I say about like 3. Like throughout my, you saying throughout life, right? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Just depression period. Have you ever been?
I say about 3, and like two kind of big ones. They lasted like more than like a few months.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like major depression, but it was like rough.
It
Like it was rough. Like
Get out of bed.
Yeah.
Rough to get out of bed type of thing.
yeah, I mean, I was getting out of bed, but it was just rough. Yeah, like it was rough to get out. And it's interesting. Like I feel like each time I learned something more that helped for the next, and then by like now that I'll probably say like I've gone through like 3. Now I'm like well equipped. I feel like to handle any challenges if I ever get like in a state of mind where I feel sad, and yeah, just develop better coping strategies than I had before. Because before I didn't have any strategies. I mean, I know what I was doing. You know, I was like 18, 16 or whatever. Yeah, I was young. So I didn't really have any coping strategies. But I feel like what really helped the most was actually physical activity. Because doing that, like, it just kind of clears your mind. And especially if you're doing it routinely, I feel like that really changed it up for me.
Yeah, I felt depressed mostly when I got out of a relationship that I really wanted to be in.
Yeah.
After that, I would be, I'd be in a rough state emotionally, and it would be difficult to have the drive to do things. But I remember just being like, dude, you gotta get out of bed, you gotta start the day, like, you gotta do that. And then time passes, you develop better habits, and you learn things. I think I could be wrong, but I feel like experience helps you with learning. Learning through experience helps you with dealing with potentially depressing things. Because now I feel like, just like Jay was saying, I feel like I got good strategies. I got a good routine that helps me to stay on an even keel state of mind. And one thing that helps me to stay even keel is, I read a lot of Vedic Hindu literature and stuff, or I have read back in the day when I came back from the jungle. And one of the things that they said was, those souls who can remain steady in both happiness and distress, surely those who are the ones who are eligible for liberation. And they're talking about liberation from bondage, like bondage of the soul, when the soul makes karmic ties to the worldly stuff, worldly things. So if someone can remain steady in happiness and distress, even when you got the hot, like the good, the best shit, if you can remain steady and just have that state of mind, like, I know at some point there will be distressing things. You don't get too far wrapped up in the joy. It allows you to kind of not really be so washed away with the currents that come in life, And I think that comes with time. I think that comes with learning. And I think that comes with experience. But it's interesting because I feel like, well, here's the answer. I was going to say, I feel like even older people, though, can be depressed. But then that's missing the potentially the learning part, the learning through experience. Like, if you don't learn other strategies, if you don't dive into things that essentially cultivate wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta, as you grow, you would ideally want to step away from those things that make you depressed and stuff. Stop doing those things. Stop self-deceiving yourself. You know what I'm saying? And It's so interesting, man. I've been listening to this stuff about Socrates and Plato and Aristotle and just the evolution of not just philosophy, but just how thought, like the meaning, they called it the meaning crisis, because we seem to be in a crisis where people are lacking living a meaningful life.
Okay.
And it's so interesting the type of things that they were saying about staying away from some self-deception and working towards, when they say know thyself, it's not saying know who you are or know what kind of person you are, is know how you operate. Yeah, I don't want it to go too far off of your depression thing, but I think it goes hand in hand with knowing how you operate.
You're right. But that goes hand in hand with the depression thing. So
Yeah.
What about you?
What about me, man? So when it comes to depression and myself, bro, to be honest, and I'll be completely honest, I know, I've been in a state of, I don't want to say like deep depression. It was most likely mild, but I've been in that state for a very long time. A very long time. And I remember exactly what got me there. And I'll talk about that. But the moment I got out of it, I changed my mindset. Everything started to come towards me. Like all of my attracting powers went into full effect.
Like good stuff?
Good stuff. The nuances in life were like so blatant and obvious to me, you know? Whereas I wasn't seeing those before. I was seeing life through some jaded lens, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't as colorful as I remembered
glasses or something.
Yeah, it wasn't as colorful as I remembered it to be, especially young. Bro, so we took the trip up to New York to the Governor's Ball, right?
The first one? Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Governor's
Music
Ball.
festival.
Music festival.
It was cool.
And
Cool festival.
yo, New York was beautiful, bro.
And he didn't want to go, bro. You know that? He didn't want to go.
Yo,
I had to force him, man.
doesn't matter. New York was beautiful. The town was I said town. The city was populated.
You can tell he's not from there.
I went to a little town
The
called New York.
neighborhood was populated.
The city was packed with like outsiders,
The energy.
tourists, like energy,
It had the
all of
energy,
that.
yeah, the New York
Dude,
energy.
Electric.
The what?
New York energy. is
Man,
real, bro.
everybody was taking a bus to this Governor's Ball. Remember? Packed with like, I said to myself,
all the
yo,
kids.
what is life? Like this is what God feel like. Like this is what God, this is why it was made. It was made to see the miraculous beauty, the beauty in life, the how vibrant, how colorful life can be, potentially. Actually, it always is. But it's how you see it, right? Perspective. Paradigm. What's your paradigm? How your view on it? So that was the peak of how, the colorful life that I had. Then about a year or two, I think 2018, I got into a very dark place, right? Where I was always second guessing myself. Doubt was always prevalent. Like it just didn't matter. Any decision that I had to make. If I wanted to go into a store, I would sit in my car for a bit and say, there's going to be people in there. I don't want to be around people right now. Like, I would have these conversations with myself. And I didn't know it was unhealthy. I didn't know it was bad. I didn't know, it would prevent me from being the person that I am today. I did not know that. Yo, this brain fog was an everyday thing. I was still writing music, still writing songs. I couldn't remember a lick of my lyrics. You couldn't tell me to get on stage and perform. You'd be like, bro, I don't know my lyrics. Dude, that's your song. What are you talking? What are you talking about? No, I don't know my lyrics. You couldn't tell me to go talk to somebody or talk to a girl. What? Bro, nah, she doesn't like me. Off rip. Didn't say anything. Didn't say a word to her. Yo, she doesn't like me, man.
Damn.
You know, like that was just my state of mind.
What did that come from? Like, how did you get out of that?
Haha. So, and I'll be honest, man. I'll be honest. It came from one person in particular. One person who made me. One person.
And then the Deep Thoughts podcast started.
It was a girl who made me doubt myself. Like everything about myself. But it was self-inflicted. So because I wasn't getting the responses from her, or I wasn't getting like true emotions, because she was manipulative, it affected me. It made me doubt everything that I did, from my music to my like career to anything. Whatever it was that I did, I doubted it because I had doubts in her. Like I didn't know if she, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but I didn't know if I had love for her. That was doubt number one. And then that trickled down to everything else in my life, every aspect of it. I didn't know if my relationships with my parents were good and healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like I doubted everything. Now, how did I get out of that? Damn, bro. Cause I know it, but it's like now my mind wants to like get all hazy and crazy. But what really helped me was I know, affirmations, personal affirmations, not internet, not YouTube. Hey, say this, say that, none of that. Personal, just me sitting with myself and saying, "Yo, I'm king. Like I have my power. I'm good." You can't tell. You know what I'm saying? I erased that doubt from me. It took a very long time, of course.
Did you write them down, or were you just
Nah, this was all mental. Because I don't know what you're thinking about. I don't know what's going on in your head. But for me, I would sit with myself. Like, I mean, long hours. I'd go for long drives and just talk good to myself. Hey, man, today we're going to have a good day. Hey, man, let's write this song. We could do it in one day. Hey, let's go talk to these people. Let's get to know them. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
Positive self-talk.
Positive self-talk.
Damn.
Helped me get out of that. And then what?
Write that down. Positive self-talk can get you out of depression.
Yeah, I mean, it was the inner dialogue, right?
Yeah,
because it went from doubt to you change it up so it's more positive, more
transmuting. That's all you're doing is transmutation. That's it.
But you don't. In the beginning, you might not believe it though.
Oh,
right?
no, you don't.
You just gotta keep on.
You gotta keep
powering
doing it.
through.
Yes, because and I said this before. What goes on in here, bro, in your inner world is reflected outside.
For sure.
Like, I mean, to the littlest of things,
Some
bro.
love on that. That's hard.
Yo, it's reflected. And what took it to the next level was, of course, semen retention and shit. But you know,
that's some kingly.
It took me to the next.
You are worthy.
And that's how I feel about depression, bro.
Man,
I was in it for like years, dude. So in it, I didn't even know I was in it. And that's what I mean by you're surrounded by darkness. Like,
that's what happens.
Anything could take me. Anything could take me off.
I think going back to the Socrates dialogue and their whole talk about and obsession with the cultivation of wisdom, I think it was for exact reasons like that, because of the tendency that humans have to fall into self-deception, things that aren't true about themselves, and negative self-talk and all these things. So they obsessively wanted to get to the depths of what it means to be human and how to exacerbate or get out the potential, like the good parts of being human. And I think one of the things that was interesting that they brought up was the natural tendency of people, of human beings, to want to know the truth about themselves, to want to know the truth about reality, and kind of we have a naturalness to want to be like know about ourselves and know about life and stuff. And this is most likely why we have this whole the West is now adopting a lot of the Eastern philosophies, like in mass. Now we hear mindfulness almost all the time now. Everybody knows what mindfulness is now.
Yeah, even the Apple Watch. It said like every now and then I get a reminder to practice a 1 minute mindfulness meditation.
Right. Imagine like in the 20s and in the 30s, they weren't talking about mindfulness.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm reading 4 books, or I'm listening to 4 different books.
Simultaneously.
You said, yeah. I finished one. I hop on to the next one. Maybe I'll go back and listen to.
I feel, yeah.
4 different books I'm listening to. 1912, one of them. 1916, another. 1920. All of them are talking about.
That's when they were published?
All of them are talking about the universe and mind.
Oh, wow.
Mental. I'm like, hold up. That's how I know. Like, for a fact I know. So we like to vote because this is our time. This is when we're alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in my body, you're in yours. We're having a good time. We're talking. And everybody, like, the chatter around us is, hey, mindful, the Eastern way of living. Everybody's talking about that. And then we sit down and we say, yo, man, we're the first, like, generation or the group of people who know about this. The world is going to change. It's going to change tomorrow. Like, we're all going to be great. Just give it about 15 years. Everybody would be, like, just vibing, peaceful on the yoga mat, just chilling.
Kumbaya.
Bro, they knew about that from way back. From way back. And that's, like, maybe this is just me, but knowing that, having that information takes you to the next level.
Yeah, of course. I mean, because think about what we're talking about. We're talking about the cultivation of wisdom. Like what I was talking about, mindfulness, this was brought back. Socrates was talking about.
Yes.
Like that was.
It goes back.
Time antiquity. And we just happen to still be like that today because they were so on point. Like that's a real, like, we can't get away from that. And the interesting thing that he said that they were talking about mindfulness was that the people who practice mindfulness have been shown to be able to access the flow state or being in the zone easier. People who practice mindfulness, which is just like being aware of your surroundings, listening, just being quiet and listening to what's going on, you can get into being in the zone easier. And then why is being in the zone such a cool thing? Because what happens in the zone is you get bombarded with cascading insights. Insight is the key. And insight is, that's why it's a light bulb. It was something that you didn't previously think of. It was something that you didn't have any knowledge of before. And now it's just automatically flowing. It's like you're tapped in to something greater than you, that's giving you the answers to move. Like people that are surfing, they're in the zone under the wave and they're not thinking. Thought is gone. This is just true tapped in, being human. Your potential is being actualized in the moment through insight. And they were talking about this is the difference between propositionally knowing God, which is God, I know God is real or the universe is real because of a set of beliefs that were told to me.
Yeah. Knowing
God based on a proposition, and participatorily knowing God. That's being in the zone where I am participating in it, actively actualizing myself, because here's the key. The future is open. The future is open. So you can participate in the creation of it with the Most High. So they said another word for God is progress. That's why insight brings you to do these new things in the moment, because you are participating with God as God, no thought in the actual activity of whatever it is you're doing.
Hey, man. Listen, man.
Oh, man.
Listen.
Woo! Well, you need to have like a soundboard. Like, damn, son, where'd you find
You
it?
gotta put
I
that.
don't have
You
that
gotta
sound.
put that
I only have some weird sounds.
Yo, listen, bro. You gotta clap for him when you say something.
Wait,
Listen,
There
dog.
we go. Hey,
Hey,
you can't hear it. It's the crowd
It
clapping.
don't matter, but look, listen. Let me tell you, man.
New soundboard.
Because I gotta speak directly to you when I say this.
There's also a camera here. We got 3 cameras now.
God damn, all y'all. Look, God, it's all about expansion of life. Remember that Drake album or playlist, More Life? That's what it's about. If you're a part of that, expansion, you in a mix. What do you? How do I say this? And I don't mean this to be materialistic or whatever, but what do you need to have that happen or to make that happen? Oh, you're gonna get it. Why? Because you're a part of that expansion, dude. You're a part of that more, that life. If you're not, guess what? You're on the opposite side. When you're on the declining side of you're not giving anything to life. You're not, you're basically, you're moving back. Bro, and this is sad news, but your life starts to deteriorate, whatever. It starts to fade away. Bro.
That's why yesterday I had the showcase performance that I was telling you guys about, and it was, I just got my snake. It was the second day I had her. I want to spend some time with her. I really don't want to drive up to Coral Springs and perform. I really don't. It's my first time doing a showcase. In my mind, I'm like, I have a new song called Recovering Faith, where at the end of it, I sing a really loud high note. And I showcased it at last Wednesday at the open mic, and I did it as my third song because Goldmine, my boy, he wanted me to get on stage with him right before he went before me, and we have songs together, and I sing too. So my voice wasn't strong. So when I hit that high note as the third song, my voice cracked. So, but I had the backtrack, so you couldn't really tell, but I noticed. And that was a new song, so I was like, damn, I was a little... But everybody still gave me love, whatever. So last night, I'm like, damn, I got to do this high note again. I want to hit it, but I don't know if I felt that I could, but I'm like, damn, is that little doubt, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting myself out there, and this is my voice, like... It's like a little pressure of a challenge. And I'm like, I'd rather just be at home, man. I don't even want to do this. Yeah. I get to this place, the show's taking mad long for them to start. I end up locking my keys in my car at one point. And it's just all this stuff. I didn't really eat well. So all this stuff that's like, dude, just go home, man. Just go home and just chalk it up to... But I knew that if I were to go home and I were to quit, I would have been like, the next morning, I would have regretted it. Yeah. And so I ended up calling Geico. That dude came so fast. Pause. So fast. Came fast. Unlocked the thing. Yeah. I had my keys free.
Yeah. Do that for you?
Free of charge. Good insurance. And I was like, oh shoot, that was just like that. I got my keys back,
right?
And then my boys, because I had to use my phone for the track, and the Geico guy was about to call me, and I thought he was gonna call me while I had the music plugged in, so it might have messed the thing up. But my boy was like, yo, you're going on in a little bit. I'm like, all right, that worked out, and I'm like, yo, I'm not leaving, like even though I'm tired. Dude, I have the song. That's my first song, Recovering Faith. In my head, I'm like, God, flow through me. Like, I'm going to nail this shit. Dude, and I fucking crushed it, bro. Yeah. Crushed it, dude. I'm talking about the power came out of my voice where my whole body was full as I was singing it. And, everybody was just blown away. And I knew that I could do that. And I'm glad that I put myself through that. And, I looked at Goldmine right after, like, yo, dude. He was like, yo, you hit that. People came up to me, and this is my first song, giving me dap on the stage.
Yes,
and I still got more songs to go. And I'm like, this is progress. I posted it on Instagram.
Oh, we can we'll put it on the video.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just on my story. Yeah, we could definitely do that.
All right.
But I'm just happy that I challenged myself, and to me, that's progress. To me, that's God. That's me participating, because the key word here is participation. Like it's one thing to know God and be like, yeah, I believe in God. I have faith. Yes, God is real, but you are also that as well. So you can participate with God, as God. And it's like you said, what do you need? Like, what do you want? The premise, though, is that you have to participate in life. Then you can be able to get what you're asking for. And dude, that's a whole different ball game when you're like, you know what? I gotta show up.
Yes,
like
man.
I gotta show up.
I be speaking this to my boys all the time. I know a lot of them. They be like, "What is he talking about, bro? You on your
This
woo-woo?"
man again.
I always say, I'm like, bro. I'm like, yo,
Here you go
listen.
again.
God is right here, yo. Like right here. And I found the truth. Like not the truth, but it was proven to me, and I didn't really need proof. But just so what I said was to myself. I said, damn, man, I don't know how I'm gonna get this, but tomorrow, I really need $100. Hear me out. I really need $100. I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but I really need it. Matter of fact, I already have it. It's mine, and I let it go. I had instant faith. The next day, I got $100.
Speaking to the mic, bro.
I got $100.
This man whispering.
He got $100
I got $100. Look, listen, but I couldn't have I didn't just get it for free. It was a give and take, of course. Right? There was
the opportunity presented itself.
But the opportunity, yes. But exactly what to the T. Not 101. Not 99, bro. $100 bill. Like, what? Mind exploded. I said, yo, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, dude. I'm here for it. I'm here for whatever I gotta do to make people around me better. I'm doing it. Like, I'm being of service, complete service. I don't care what is it that you want to do? What can I help you with? Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, man. That's the key right there, man. Being in service, like that's a huge part of the participation. I feel like that's like service, man, because I feel like, not to get all woo or anything like that, but like like we hear so often that service is the nature of the soul, but not service like a slave. I mean service to God, service to that which you are a part of. And the reason that it works is because you are a part of it. So when you're serving it, you are filling your own cup. It's like using, in the Vedic Hindu literature, God or Krishna is referred to as a desire tree. And they say your desires are like the leaves on that tree, and your service is the watering of the root of that tree. So your service to God, which is the tree, is watering the roots of the tree where your desires are eventually going to bloom on as the leaves. And that's crazy. It's not crazy, but it's just interesting because we think of service as some sort of slave, like, you know what I'm saying, some sort of unwilling labor, or like I have to serve a master type of thing. Like, no, you have to frame it in a way where you see service, you're actually serving that which you are a part of. So you're actually filling your own cup, which is why it works. So when you ask to participate, that's why like so many people pray before they go on stage and stuff like that, or before they do something. They're like, God, like, use me, use me to then benefit others. Obviously I want to do great and I want to enjoy, but let my enjoyment be your enjoyment as well. And then on top of that, use me. You might inspire, you might touch somebody, you might change somebody's whatever, just by you stepping out of the way and then being like, this performance or this act that I'm doing, I'm not just doing this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my boy told me yesterday, he was like, yeah, yo, you're doing this for you, which is true. You know, I'm doing it because I wanted to challenge myself, but you better believe before I went up there and before every performance, I talk with God and I say, dear God, use me. Like, use me. Even when my voice cracked, I asked God, flow through me. And my voice cracked, but everybody still loved it. And everybody still was like, dude, that song, I can't get it out of my head. And, you know, everybody was only talking about the good stuff. But service, man. And key thing about service is unconditional service.
Yeah.
You know, like giving without expecting something in return. And again, the reason that it feels so fulfilling to do that is because this is our natural state. Like, this is our golden light when you go to the heavenly platforms. Not to get all woo-woo, most likely, but I've done a lot of research on near-death experiences. So I've accumulated all the research I've done throughout the years, and, you know, there's most likely a life after death. We all can agree, like, we all have those same sentiments, I'll say. And a lot of that is like, man, I felt like I was back home and all this stuff. And, you know, those tenets that are explained to the souls that cross over, because people have questions and stuff, is like, yeah, service to God, like unconditional service. That's the way to go. You know, that's why you're there. You know, expand, like, get out there and get it, like, do it. And that goes right back to that participation. But I love that you brought participating in service, because I think that's an important point. Yeah.
That's dope, bro.
The cultivation of wisdom, man. I think that's because I've been on that kick lately, man. Crazy. Just about, because I think everything that we're talking about goes into living a life full of purpose, living a life full of meaning, you know, to counteract that depression that you know, people fall into. You have to know these things, I feel like, where you have to be in a space where you're willing to cultivate wisdom, you know. And I think that those things are important because they can, like we said, offset depression. And it has to do with tenets like participation and everything that we're talking about. And it's just interesting that I found that in the ancient tenets of what people think of as philosophy. But it's like, nah, you got to understand that, again, when Socrates said, know thyself, he was saying, know how you operate, know your tendencies for self-deception, know your capacity to cultivate wisdom, know that you need to cultivate character in order to do that. Know that you need to cultivate living virtuously, and this is what it means to be human. You know what I'm saying? Know how you operate. Like, you have to cultivate character. Like, you have to be a person of character, a person of substance, if you really want to participate in your highest fashion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because imagine that. Imagine if you would have folded. Imagine if I would have folded yesterday, and I would have not went through with the performance, or you would have not went through with whatever it is that you challenged. You would have failed at day 70, or you would have not put this podcast together. Or, you know, imagine if you didn't have that character in you to, if you just gave up easily. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to move forward in a way that you would if you did have character. You have to cultivate that. And I think that's why all of these things speak to us so strongly when we dive into narratives like The Hero's Journey and all these superhero movies. They all speak to us because we all have that craving to live a life where I know that I have good, strong character and I'm worthy of overcoming that challenge. And, you know, when Captain America faced off on those dudes and he was there by himself, I had goosebumps. Yeah.
Did you ever watch the Loki series?
Nah. I didn't watch the ones on Disney Plus.
I was gonna do a reference to one of those.
Yeah. What was it? A moment like that?
Yeah, a moment like that. But it wasn't even like a major. It was very small. Like it was like there was an old Loki, and he goes out by yelling "glorious purpose," and like cause his whole life, like he was the only Loki that had reached old age, cause he escaped death somehow by doing something that wasn't like he was like a coward in a way. So he went out by like just like he did something where he really found meaning, and he went. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, damn, that's how you go out, you know, like
Tough.
like just glorious purpose, just yelling.
Tough. Purpose, man. Purpose is that's people want to live that life, man. A life full of purpose.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you guys, or I wanted to ask you guys, how do you guys deal with comfort? Because there's a space where you get too comfortable, but you don't want your life to be like uncomfortable all the time, right? So how do you guys balance that? What do you guys try to do, or if anything?
How do I deal with comfort?
Like, what do you like? Yeah, how do you deal with it? For example, here I'll give you how I deal, or I'll try to kind of like get uncomfortable in a way, because I feel like it's important to get uncomfortable, because that's gives you opportunity for growth.
Definitely.
And what I do, and I've done like in the past, is I've tried to like do like 1 month challenges, kind of like what you said earlier, like
Exactly.
1 month challenges. And I started, I mean, I haven't done it consistently for 3 years, but I think around 3 years ago, or maybe 4, I did 2 challenges. 1 month, I woke up at 6 a.m. and I went to run each morning, and I'd say that one changed my life. Another one that changed my life was I went vegetarian for a month, and then I stuck with it for 3 years.
Wow.
And
that
yeah,
deserves a little clap.
But I mean, now I eat chicken and fish only. I mean, I eat like vegetables and stuff, but yeah, the only meat I eat is chicken and fish.
I think putting yourself in uncomfortable positions is definitely necessary, because it toughens you. It toughens you to I got a friend that he is gripped by porn addiction, you know, and I met with him maybe like 3 or 4 days ago, and we had a conversation once, and then he was like, yeah, I went 24 days, and then he just fell back down and was doing it every day. And I was talking to him like, bro, you have to start by doing difficult things. Like, try to do one hard thing a day. Like, whether it's physical activity, go to the gym, or take a cold shower for the last 30 seconds of the shower. Because what that's doing is that's training your mind to... Because comfort is dragging you like this. Like, you're in your comfort zone so much that when you're home, your pleasure sensors are like, driving you all the way to the ultimate pleasurable thing, which is a release. You know what I'm saying? So the more that you do a difficult thing, the more that you'll have that capacity to deal with those temptations that are not good for you. Because if you stay in comfort zone too long, when the temptations that are not good for you come along, they're going to wash you away, because those temptations present themselves as, man, this is even more comfortable than what you're feeling right now. So come on down. And people go right down. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when you take a cold shower, for example, your body goes into fight or flight, and your body's like, dude, let's get out of here. But you are like, nah, chill. Like, we're going to chill. So it's the same thing.
Cold exposure actually releases dopamine. There was like a study recently.
Cold exposure.
Yeah, and I've been doing it a little bit. Like, I don't do it every day, but I feel like it's a great way to wake up. Like, if you want to wake up, like the last 30 seconds, just put the coldest it can get, and you'll be wide awake. You'll be wide awake.
For me, comfort, man.
Cause it's not bad. Comfort is not bad.
Right.
You know.
I got a big ass king size bed, man.
Yeah, you like comfort is good. Like,
I mean, yeah, you need a balance of that. Yeah. You don't want to live a life that's uncomfortable, right? All the time. You would just be on edge.
Yeah,
personally, because it just depends on what we talk about when it comes to comfort. So if it's just like growth, personal growth, then yeah, I always put I don't always, but I like to put myself out there. Mm-hmm. So around people who I, personally or usually wouldn't be around, just getting to be in that circle and having conversations with them, see where they take me intellectually, or if I, whatever path this moment takes us on, I'm with it. So there was a moment last year, towards the latter end of it, around this time, I was putting myself in a lot of sketchy positions. But what I noticed after what I noticed after every event or ride, I got exactly what we were talking about, which is the W, wisdom. Every experience.
I was thinking when you thought of better than what I was thinking. Wisdom.
Yo, that's the real W.
Yeah, it is.
Every experience gave me the wisdom, and it was all from intent, right? So, one was the trip to the Everglades. I was fighting it, man. I was like, nah, dude, I don't want to go.
Oh, he was fighting. I remember him telling me.
Bro,
he told me
I
that.
was like, dog, I don't want to go, bro. And I kept the dude who kept, he kept calling me, text me, yo, man, come on, you gonna meet us at Roots? I said, yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. My car, bro, I don't think I can go, man. I can't make it. Oh, what's your address, man? We'll come pick you up.
Oh my God.
What?
I remember talking to him. I told him, I remember him telling me this, and I was like, hey, man, if you don't want to go, don't go.
I said, you know what? Whatever, man. Clothes on my back. I just went with them. Ended up being the best experience of my life.
It was the solar,
the conjunction. I got the biggest W. I was with different people. A marine biologist, a super spiritual mom. She's not even a mom. She treated us like her children. That's what I mean by mom.
Yeah.
She, an amazing and two amazing other people, and we were just sharing energies, man. We had a bonfire. We were burning anyways. I put myself out there. That was me getting incredibly uncomfortable, and I came out with an amazing this is what helped me get better with people, because I wasn't a people person. I'm still kind of I'm trying. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But that's what got me there. That's what got me here. Being uncomfortable. Yeah, just being uncomfortable. Participating with I was asking for these events, for these moments to come, and I got them. I just took them and I ran with it. Those were moments that put me on edge, man. Now, back to the porn addiction. I want to say a little bit about that. A bit of it can be, him wanting to be comfortable, right? Or people wanting to be comfortable. A bit of it can be that. But have you guys ever looked at the side of a stressor or an anxiety or you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just, all right, I'm just going to go home, open up my laptop, go watch porn.
It's a coping mechanism for stress.
It's coping, yeah. So something could be going on. Something can trigger that. So maybe, let's say you're home and you're bored. I could go watch some porn. Or you're home and maybe you just got into a fight. I'm gonna go watch some porn. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just kill off the porn, just close the laptop, kill the porn. That will kill you. You have to go back to the reason why. Why are you flipping up that laptop? Why are you typing? What is making you feel like that? What emotion are you hiding from? What, what's bringing you down that path? Is it someone that, you don't want to, is it someone that's making you feel like this? Or is it a situation that's is your job stressful? Is your living circumstances not, to your life? Whatever it is, figure that out, deal with that, and then closing that lap, deleting your whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. That's one of the things that we talked about, because he was like, yeah, man, I was talking to this girl and I basically got rejected, and then it just put me on a bender. So he was dealing with the stress of rejection, and it cascaded into that. And I shared with him something that I seen on Instagram from Dr. Jason Wilson. He was like, I was talking to my overweight friend, and my overweight friend was saying, man, I can't stick to this diet. I just can't seem to stick to this diet. And Dr. Jason Wilson was like, you don't suffer from a lack of discipline. Lack of discipline is not what you have. You suffer from a lack of desire. Ooh. You don't want to be here talking to me about this diet. You don't want to be here talking about a diet. You really don't. And when it comes to those porn addictions, like, how bad do you really want to change?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have that desire strong enough, you're not going to do it. Like, because at the end of the day, that's what you have to have, that desire.
Yeah.
The desire comes first, then the discipline comes. Yeah. It's not the discipline, then the desire.
Do you even see a problem with it? Like, do you, for an example, because...
A problem with what?
With porn. Like, do you see a problem with...
Well, if you're addicted to it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Do you see that?
Well, actually,
I don't see any good in it, really.
No, and I understand how you feel. I know. I understand how we feel. But when you're in that, because remember, it goes back to,
it is harmful
being
for the brain.
Encapsulated by that darkness. And I say darkness. You know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
So,
can you use it as a catalyst to jump into the light?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Like, do you see what you're in? Do you see your situation? Because if you don't, then it's not a problem for you. Like, that's just lifestyle. That's just a way of life now. It's okay, I just got out of work, go home. Let me just fap a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's how you see it. But it isn't until, I do this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we were like that though. Like, we had, like, when porn first came out, I wasn't thinking about this is bad. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, the days of LimeWire, I was downloading shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
man, had hella viruses.
Yeah, I didn't have no problem. I didn't think about anything bad.
Yeah, you're right. But then comes a switch, right? It goes from, because it makes you feel like you're getting that reward. It makes you feel like you're having sex or you're meeting a whole bunch of women. And it's a different girl every time. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same.
That's not reality.
Yeah, it's not real. So it makes you feel like you're having sex with all of these women.
With no effort.
With no effort.
Yeah, that's it.
And because you have no, like, because you're not putting any effort in and it's coming to you like this, what the fuck is gonna... Your body is saying to your mind is saying to you, bro, you're good. Like, you don't... The fuck? What do you have to work hard for? What do you have to... wake up and go work out for? What do you have to, go get these women for? You clearly have 50 of them. You know what I'm saying? Every month, you clearly have 50. You're good.
That's why I think it's not a good thing. Like, it plays on the vulnerabilities of a man. It plays on it. And, it wasn't until the moments where we figured out the truth. It's like you're in a relationship this whole time with something or someone, and then you find out what they really have been doing to you all this time.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, that actually wasn't so good for me.
Yeah.
And now I got to deal with the repercussions of it. Now I got to heal myself. And it's that's what made me be like, oh, snap, I got to change, man. Like, I got 10-15 years of an addiction that I have to rewire, and I have to, in order for me to live the life that I know that I can live, like really actualize myself to the fullest.
Okay, so we go back to that awareness, right?
Yeah. The image.
Yes. You saw it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you say to this friend. Doesn't matter. They gotta see it. they gotta feel it. They gotta know what it is for them. Because remember, words are words, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You can be in class all day and listen to a teacher talk, but if you're not, if you're not like understanding what she's saying, you're not getting that information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
I told him, that's one of the things I told him too was, bro, you're not, I could say all this stuff to you. We were saying things like, dude, you can call us whenever you have that, because I have people that I can call, like my boys, because we all on a journey together. And I was like, dude, you can call us, but I will say this. You are not going to want to call us when you're going through it. You're most likely not going to call us. So you got to deal with it. You got to know that it's just going to be you in the house. So you got to get to a point like, what is it going to take for you to figure out and overcome that? That's something that you got to figure out, brother. Like, I can say all the words that I can to you. And, we had the first talk and you went 26 days and then, you fell, whatever. And then you didn't get back up on the horse. So it just shows you like, yeah, we could talk, just like you're saying. But, dude, nobody's going to be with you in the house. You by yourself, brother. Yeah. You gotta figure out what it is that you really want. How bad do you want it? Like, that this shit is messed up. Like, I talked to him. I was like, bro, what do you want? Like, what do you want? And he was like, he was saying all the standard shit. Like, I want to be my best self. I want to be good with women. I want to be confident. And I was like, do it then. Like, do you really want that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you really gotta, because he has it. He knows it, but he doesn't have that desire strong yet.
You did it already, though, man. You're good. Like, you planted the seed.
Yeah.
You planted the seed. It's a wrap. Like, it'll come. It might take some time, but it'll come.
From what I've learned this year, it might be helpful. But like, I feel like having good coping strategies is key, because stuff is gonna happen to us, like regardless if we want it or not. But if you have a good coping strategy, then it'll help you. Like if for one of mine is like physical activity. That's like I'd say that's like one of the best, because it's stress relief.
What do you do exactly?
I go to the gym and I run. My typical workout is like I run 2 miles and then I go do weightlifting.
You was all over the place on the basketball court that day, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man was getting rebounds, playing defense.
Now I play ball too. I do some other things too. Like I try to switch it up. So yeah, I play basketball and I've been doing a little bit of kickboxing. And what was the other thing? Oh, and I'd say for that example, I'd say small steps, or for any example, setting like small goals, especially from the research I've done in like neuroscience and a whole bunch of other shit I've gone into. Setting small goals is very important, because you'll set what happens is when you get that goal, you'll release dopamine, and what dopamine is good for is motivating you to actually do something. Like, it gets you movement. Sure.
Right.
So setting those small goals could help your friend actually change his behavior.
He said, yo, man, after we had the first talk where he went 24 days, during that first talk, he was like, yeah, man, I'm going 91 days. I'm like,
yo,
all right, bro. That's a lofty goal, man. What?
It's a journey.
I didn't want to discredit him. He did end up going 26, which was the longest in like 3 years or something like that for him. But I'm like, dude, you're probably better off. You did 26, now go for 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, small steps get you there.
It's a journey, dude. And then 40 to 60 will kick you, bro. But the last 30 was
what are some of your coping strategies
for
stress?
Like life in general,
Okay. So, hey, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I am a Sagittarius moon. Yeah. Listen to me when I say this. I am a Sagittarius moon. I know that might whatever. No, I'm good. I got it. It might not mean anything to you. You might be like, oh, man, you talking about astrology, words with it. So check this out.
Let us know.
Check this out. me being a Sagittarius moon, meaning how I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I like travel. I like being, how do you say it? New places, new environments. I like deep thoughts and conversations. I like, like beautiful things, right? So check it. This is like Sagittarius. This is before I knew what Sagittarius was. I found myself getting in my car, and this was like over the last year or two. I found myself getting inside my car and just driving. Like where it didn't matter. I would just wake up in the morning, go for a long drive. It could be in silence. It could be with a little beat playing in the back. And what that would do, it would clear my mind. So it would put me in a meditative state without me having to like consciously put myself in a meditative state. That off rip lowered my stress levels. It put me in a different mindset, made me super creative. So if there was an idea, a song that I had that was coming up to me, hey, I'm gonna just park for a little bit. Let me write something down. Like I found just traveling, man. Traveling is like my number one. 2 would be walking, long walks. I would go to a park and just walk around, put on some headphones. Same thing. Put a beat in the back or just, listen to nature. That would clear my head too. It's just the small things, man. It's the small things.
Yeah. For me, the ways that I deal with stress, man. I think I have a strong tendency to frame things in ways that benefit me. So if something happens to me that's unfavorable, I'll immediately jump to, this was here for some sort of reason. Ooh. And that immediately like kind of lowers the stress of it, and I'm just like, this, even though I don't know what that reason is, I have faith. You know what it is? Like I think it's faith that no matter what happens, I'm all right. Like no matter what happens to me from the outside world, at the end of the day, I'm fine because I got faith in God. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting, faith in that lecture that I was listening to with Socrates and all that, faith was described as, that you're on the right path because it's that feeling that you're aligned because you've been progressing. Like you're actively progressing, so you have that sentiment that I'm on the right track because of my tendency to participate in service and progress. That feeling is faith. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of these things that I learned in the Vedic literature was this phrase, my service is my shelter. So the more that I do things that are aligned with those kinds of energies, I feel like I'm sheltered no matter what happens. Yeah. Any stress that comes, I feel like as long as I continue on the path that I'm doing, I'll be all right.
Hey, man, I'm with that. And that goes back to like last year when I was taking all of those random, dangerous even trips. I always had
escapades.
Going to the hood.
Dude,
going to the hood and gas stations at night.
That's exactly what he did.
That, yeah. Like, and then more dangerous. But I found myself, I was doing that, but I always had faith. Like I always knew that I was good. I was all right. Always. For every single circle. That's why I was able to just no bag, no extra clothes, no nothing. Just go. Like, where are we going? Okay, cool, let's go. Or a random dude pull up. Hey, man, can I get a ride? Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, dude, I'm not kidding. So, I was in some stuff, bro. But from every single one of those, experiences, I got something from it. Like, in every single experience, I was there with God, bro. Like, for real. For real. If there was something that I was dealing with, I got the answers to it in that experience. Yo,
faith, man.
Faith.
And that's been another episode of Deep Thoughts, y'all.
Yeah.
We got the 3 cameras. Yungavelle, is there anything you wanted to shout out? You got your YouTube, right?
Follow me on Instagram, the Yungavelle, Yungavelle. They said I was saying it too fast yesterday at the thing, so I slowed it down. The Yungavelle Instagram. I'm also on YouTube. Definitely subscribe to my channel. I'll be dropping a lot more wisdom on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, we'll have the links in the description and all that.
For sure. New music coming, man. Bump Lone Star. Everybody loves Lone Star.
And he's got a clothing line. I don't know if y'all know.
Yep, the Awakened Alpha merch. I'm gonna make some tweaks to the design. I'm gonna remove the alpha off the bottom of the shirts and the sweaters and all that. But definitely that link's gonna in all my YouTube descriptions. So rock that. Yeah, man.
Well, thank you for coming out, man.
Yeah.
We got this new setup. We got 3 cameras now, and we got some new equipment. So thank you for coming, bro. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Deep
All right,
thoughts.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Deep Thoughts.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Our link tree is in the description, and you can check out previous videos on the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and a review. Maybe we'll read it on the podcast one of these days.
After you leave that rating and review, be sure to share it with friends, family. You know, Deep Thoughts. Come on, family. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's grow.
Y'all take care. Peace.